information about the 2017 cost of living adjustment or open enrollment for coverage, press or say 1. To continue with your call, press or say 2. To hear these options again, ensure that you receive accurate and courteous service. Your call may be monitored or recorded.
Oh, it is.
Listen to all options carefully. Our menu has recently changed. To request a statement of the benefits you receive, please hold. We're looking forward to talking to you. All of our representatives are currently busy. When call volumes are high,
If you were looking forward to it, you wouldn't have hung up on me.
To a representative. We're looking forward to talking to you. All of our representatives are currently busy. When call volumes are high, your wait time may be up to 15 minutes to speak to a representative.
Okay, it's 9:18 now, my time. So let's see how many minutes this is going to take until they hang up on me. I'll be pausing this so you don't have to wait so long.
Disability or spouse's benefits, or if you are just looking for information, you may want to visit our website at www.socialsecurity.gov.
You don't want to visit their website. There is no information
there you
on
will
their
find
website.
important information about your benefits and our procedures. For many people,
Their procedure,
doing business with Social Security
in fact,
online from
is
the
to
comfort of
ignore their
home or
procedures.
office is the fastest
The
and most
Iowa
convenient way to receive
Social
service.
Security Office, located in Scott County, in Davenport, has the highest number of upheld appeals. That means when they cut a person off, they did it wrongfully. And this office has the highest number of upheld appeals. And they do that because there's a lot of black and minority people living in this area.
Representatives are currently busy. When call volumes are high, your wait time may be up to 15 minutes to speak to a representative. .socialsecurity.gov. Thank you for calling Social Security. Goodbye.
Well, as you can see, they don't want to talk to anybody. They're not anxious to talk to anyone. I'm going to redial them.
Davenport Social Security Office. To hear information about the 2007 cost of living adjustment or open enrollment for health coverage, press or say 1. To continue with your call, the 2017 cost of living adjustment. Invalid option. Please try again. To listen to this message again, press or say 1. To continue with your call, press or say 2. To end your call, press or to ensure that you receive accurate and courteous service, your call may be monitored or recorded. Please listen to all options carefully. Our menu has recently changed. To request a statement of the benefits you receive, press or say 1. To request a replacement Medicare card, press or say 2. To request the status of an existing claim, press or say 3. To hear field office hours and directions, press or say 4. To dial your party's extension, press or say 5. To speak to the next available agent, press or say 0. To hear these please hold. We're looking forward to talking to you. All of our representatives are currently busy. When call volumes are high, your wait time may be up to 15 minutes to speak to a representative. Thank you for holding. Someone will assist you shortly. Please remember to have handy your Social Security number and any recent mail that we may have sent you. Having this information will help us serve you better. If you want to file for retirement, disability, or spouse's benefits, please remember that you have to qualifying online. For more information about Social Security, including forms and a complete list of online services, please visit us online at www.socialsecurity.gov. Thank you for holding. We appreciate your patience. If you want to file for retirement, disability, or spouse's benefits, or if you are just looking for information, you may want to visit our website at
That would be a bad idea.
www.socialsecurity.gov. There you will find important information about your benefits and our procedures. For many people, doing business with
The important thing you should realize
online
about
from the comfort
Social
of their
Security's
home or
procedures
office
is they
is
don't
the
follow
fastest and
any
most
written
convenient way
procedure.
to receive service.
And this is why they have the highest number of upheld appeals in the Scott County Social Security office, which is located in Davenport, Iowa. That office has the highest number of upheld appeals in the country. And that's because people in the Davenport office don't like to follow rules and regulations. People in the Davenport office are dyed-in-the-wool racists. They have a problem dealing with anybody who claims disability. According to Social Security's rules and regulations, when you are denied your application for Social Security, there is a procedure they use called a reconsideration, where your application goes back to the local office that denied it. The local office in Davenport, Iowa will continually deny that. They'll deny it for years. Legal Aid of Iowa will allow them to do this, even though, according to their own rules and regulations, they can only demand a reconsideration procedure once. After that reconsideration procedure happens,
Thank you for holding. We appreciate your
the
patience.
case must go to
If you want
appeal.
to file for retirement, disability,
But
or
that's
spousal
not what
benefits,
legal aid
or
does,
if you are just looking
because
for
legal aid
information,
doesn't
you may want
work
to visit our
for you.
website at
Legal aid works for the government.
www.socialsecurity.gov.
Legal aid is
There you will
adverse
find
to
important
doing
information about
anything
your benefits
which
and
will bring
procedures.
anyone's attention. Well, it looks like they hung up on me again. Amazing.
Davenport Social Security Office. To hear information about the 2017 Cost of Living Adjustment or open enrollment for health coverage, press or say 1 to continue with your call. The 2017 Cost of Invalid option. Please try again. To listen to this message again, press or say
No.
1. Thank you for calling Social Security. Goodbye.
Well, I guess I'll call them again.
The Davenport Social Security Office. To hear information about the 2017 Cost of Living Adjustment or open enrollment for health coverage, press or say 1. To continue with your call, press or say 2. To hear these options, to ensure that you receive accurate and courteous service, your call may be monitored or recorded. Please listen to all options carefully. 1. To request a replacement Medicare card, press or say 2. To request the status of an existing claim, press or say 3. To hear field office hours and directions, press or say 4. To dial your party's extension, press or say 5. To speak to the next available agent, press or say 0. To hear these, please hold.
Well, we already know that's not going to happen.
We're looking forward to talking to you. All of our representatives are currently busy. When call volumes are high, your wait time may be up to 15 minutes to speak to a representative. Thank you for holding. Someone will assist you shortly.
So far, they haven't let me wait 6 minutes. They've hung up on me. They don't even get halfway to the 15-minute goal, and they hang up the phone.
If you want to file for retirement,
I went through this in 2007 and in 2008. They refused to take my information that I was going to prison. Legal aid refused to tell them I was going to prison. I'm supposed to give them more money than I get during the month to get an attorney to tell them this shit. So I spent 2 years in federal over a trumped-up charge, which was only trumped up because I named the names of every state and federal puke who watched a baby get raped all of her life. And right now, she's still being abused. She's getting $30 a week of her Social Security money, and all of the rest of that money is going to the people who have sexually abused her since she was obtained through human traffic as an infant. I proved that on the web. I used government documents to help me prove that on the web. I named the names of every federal puke who, as a mandatory reporter, faces a 5-year sentence for not involving law enforcement in an investigation of this. An investigation which only took place more than 30 years after the child reported she was being raped. And I did that investigation. And I talked to everybody. I talked to childhood friends, the parents of those childhood friends if they were still alive. I talked to everybody. Everybody knew she was getting diddled, but they were afraid of the butlers. A faction of that crime family is currently incarcerated in Illinois for a home invasion, kidnap, and murder. The police let those people kill those people. The local police let some of those same people shoot at me for over 3 years. And when I would report those attempts at assassination, I would be charged with telephone harassment. I only found that out in federal court. You know, federal court doesn't even forget it when you're exonerated from a former charge. If you're acquitted, the federal government will take you into court and act like you were still guilty. It's a very fucked up system. I'm just waiting for the confirmation of the hang-up. I mean, this is even better than an actual phone call with them. Because they're going to say, well, you can't tape us, but I can. You see, these people decided that they would protect two pigs whose colleagues called them Bump and Thump because they would beat the shit out of long-haired bearded males. And they disabled a lot of people before they met me. But I never lose a case in court, and I didn't lose that one. I got over half of it.
Please try your call again later, or you can visit our website at www.socialsecurity.gov.
Don't visit their website, you won't get anywhere.
Thank you for calling Social Security. Goodbye.
Well, I'm sorry for keeping all you folks hanging on for the last 15 minutes. But that's how much time I've got on this tape now, and as you can see, multiple phone calls will not get you into the Social Security office when you have to report something to them. Nor has a phone call and letter and fax, which was sent to the Davenport office over a week ago. They haven't responded to that yet. This is how the Social Security Administration takes care of people who rat them off. I was appointed to be Wanda Butler's representative. I don't take shit from adversaries. I don't take shit from adversaries in court or on the street. First thing I did was I asked for Wanda Butler's complete file because I've never prosecuted an appeal without knowing all of the facts from day one. It took me almost 3 years to get that file, and when I got it finally, I understood totally why they wanted to suppress that evidence. Because that file confirms that they eventually made someone a payee who was a felon. That's against the law. However, since the Butlers had told me that they have a deal with the pigs on both sides of the river to allow them to engage in whatever illegal activities they care to engage in, it came as no surprise to me that after videotaping them and their gang and their associates, who, by the way, included the Rock Island Davenport Police Departments and a Rock Island City Council member whose brother, who runs a family barbershop for that family, was selling dope out of that facility, which was only 8 blocks away from where I used to live, 24/7. I put that on the web, and I gave a copy, an hour-and-a-half compilation to Crime Stoppers in Moline. Crime Stoppers is run by a guy named Williams, who was a sergeant then. Maybe he got a promotion for his act of giving that videotape back to the people who were on it selling drugs. And that's when the pigs started to allow people to openly hunt me with guns. I have been the intended target of over 24 assassination attempts. And I believe the only reason why I'm still in existence is because God wanted me to do what I did. Now, I don't know why, because it's only caused me to suffer. And it hasn't caused the police to relent in their practice of helping people sell interstate dope in the area where I live. And don't get me wrong, people. I like weed. I don't like it at today's prices, though. These ghetto market prices have to go. When I was buying weed, you could get it for $10 or $15 a lit. It is not worth $400 an ounce. It just ain't. I think people who sell it for $400 an ounce probably ought to face prosecution. Anyway, getting back to the subject at hand, the next call I'm going to be putting on Facebook, YouTube, and other outlets is going to be my return call to Alex Cornea. That's already on Facebook and on YouTube. But Alex's people in the Des Moines office of legal aid told me that Alex did in fact contact them over a week ago, and they have refused to confirm that contact. Now, the last time they did shit like this, I spent 2 years in federal custody. So I'm just telling the American public what's going on. I've never failed to report, and that's many things that I've never failed to report. And I reported every son of a bitch who watched a child get raped. I reported every son of a bitch who knew that the people who was raping this child were involved in a family-run drug cartel, which, by the way, includes more areas than the local area that I'm in. I did an extensive investigation. I drove many miles before the government saw to it that my car could be stolen. And I'm here to tell you that if you expect the police to help you with these issues, then you're just pissing up a rope, because the police are involved with it. At least they are in Davenport, Iowa, Rock Island, Illinois, Bettendorf, Iowa, East Moline, Illinois, Moline, Illinois, Silvis, Illinois, and all areas east and west. I investigated a 3-county area that includes 2 states for doing that investigation, for faithfully reporting what was actually going on, and for having videotaped evidence to prove it. The person who was helping me establish my website was threatened by the police, and his wife was threatened by the police, and that's when I bought some video professor discs and learned how to work my website myself. During the time that I have dutifully reported these instances of public corruption, and not before, I might add, the state of Illinois attempted to commit me 3 times. The state of Iowa attempted to commit me 3 times, once from a prison, which is not a fair procedure, and the federal government attempted to commit me once from a federal prison, which is even more unfair than the state version of unfair commitment. In all of those attempts, the government has been unable to commit me. So maybe what I'm saying is the truth. You can read about me on the web, and you will read things that are untrue. But the truth can be found on my website. So just browse www.freeworldkgb.freeservers.com and you can get the whole story. It's not a story you're going to like, because during that time, from 2001 until the present, I have reported on every personal instance that I've had where drugs have actually gotten in the way of my life, and that included an instance when I was employed by a home health care center who was allowing people who were running a crack house for the family-run drug cartel I first went after to operate. It's against the law for a home health care provider to allow a person to be doing drugs in their home. They consider that self-abuse, so you're supposed to report it. It's also against the law for such a person to run a crack house, to be taking drugs in from people and distributing them to people in the community. If you don't report it, if you don't report what your client's doing, you are liable for a 5-year felony stretch and a stiff fine. Now, I had talked to my boss about a person named Ron who I was dealing with, and he was directly across from a place called Helen's Tap. You can find the story of that on my website too. His house was located at 220 Warren Street, right across the street from Helen's Tap, where I would witness people going into his house, smoking crack, then going over to the bar to get drunk, and then going back to Ron's house to smoke crack. I watched that for 4.5 years before I was employed by Visiting Angels, and at that time, they gave me a free ticket into Ron's house, where I was actually able to confirm that such activity was taking place because of the residue and paraphernalia lying about. I had talked to Michael, who was the owner of Visiting Angels, about this situation before. And he had told me, well, a lot of our clients, they just have problems, and it's not our job to help them about their addictions. And then I was paid $24, $8 an hour, to sit in on a 3-hour seminar offered by a group, Alternatives for the Aged, because I was helping aged people. I was in home health care. And I was made acquainted with the actual law. And the actual law is, if I didn't turn in Ron, who, by the way, I had turned him in already. I had turned him in with the pictures of known dealers who were going into his house to collect drugs. And I turned him into the Davenport police, and I had been turning that guy in for 4 freaking years. Nothing ever happened to that guy. My last investigation of that address reveals that Ron is probably dead. He had blown out his lungs with crack, and he was on oxygen. It was many years ago. He's probably dead. The people who are in that location are selling crack and narcotics out of it. I have given the license plate number of their main dope transporter to the Davenport Police Department. That person has, as of yet, has not been arrested. This is because the present chief of police of Davenport is in on it. He's been in on it for years. That's who gets to be in Davenport Police Administration. People who are on the take. So I suggest for any rookies that have just joined the Davenport Police Department, if you want to advance and succeed and become somebody in that department, you better develop some connections with with some wealthy area people who want you to help them sell drugs. And you'll be able to send your kids to college, belong to a country club, have nice trendy things to put in your house. Because that's what they appear to be looking for. I know this is a long videotape, but it's a long story. Have a nice day. This is Dmitry Ivanovich, a.k.a. Jeff Soberoff, with The Naked Truth.